Welcome to the Var Side Pod. My name is Andy Creed, and today we have the ever-present Steve Worrell. How are you, Steve?
Yeah, I'm good. Good, not bad at all. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. And someone you may already know, Simon Gray, very special guest and founder member of the proud Lilywhites. How are you, Simon?
I'm good, thanks very much. Nice to be here.
Good. So, chaps, there's only really one place to start, and the burning question is, are the Woolwich Wanderers actually shit? Well, that was a bit of a rhetorical question anyway. So
it was kind of.
Yeah. So,
well, I'm still happy to answer.
Yeah, please shoot away on that one, Steve.
I'm happy to give you an answer. Yeah, I'm really enjoying their current fall from grace.
Their demise. Yeah,
it's a joy to behold at the moment. I thought we was like there's a couple of times I thought we would suffer, and they've managed to make everything all right. Actually,
that's right. Yeah.
Contribute to a great weekend, really. So happy days.
Yeah. Well, also they had a few injuries during the week as well, didn't they? So that added to
I'm
the party.
I'm not so much on the injury side. I'm happy for them to lose. I'm happy for them.
Well, to be honest with you, if they're gonna trip over their own feet and sprain their ankles or whatever, then kind of.
Yeah, I guess that's fair enough.
They'll get over it, won't they? They'll get over it. Never mind. Anyway,
I wonder if I'm presuming that David Luiz is going to be suspended for 2 matches. Is it for straight red?
It's 3, isn't it?
Should it be 3?
Is it 3?
It depends on the nature of the red, doesn't it? If it's if it's not violent conduct, if it's not considered violent conduct, it's just 1 match. I think if it's violent conduct, it's 3 matches. So. I don't know.
That wasn't violent, was it? So,
Right, no, it's comical. Comical. I don't know what you get for comical conduct. I mean, that might be like suspending for the rest of the season.
Well, that's right. That's true.
That might do them a favour, though.
Yeah, it's true. Well, he's actually signed up, isn't it? Hasn't he extended for another year, or they're trying to
You're
get
joking.
him to
I'm sure they're I'm sure they're delighted by that. AFTV must be delirious.
Oh, what a shame! Because did he have? Was he actually coming to the end of his contract then this month?
Yeah. And I think he was playing for a contract the other day. He was playing to convince,
and he got it.
Yeah. And after getting himself sent off, they decided actually we want to sign him on for another year.
My God,
fantastic club! Yeah.
I'm always nervous. I'm always nervous laughing at them lot down the road because we're only ever 90 minutes away from our own disaster, I little think. So
yeah, I know, but I always take the viewpoint, Simon. If you don't laugh now, it's going to be lots of crying later anyway. So.
Right, you'll grab it while it's hot, basically.
Exactly. Make hay while the sun shines. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I never did I didn't rejoice in them losing the other day before our game on Friday, And the fact we didn't lose on Friday meant that I could celebrate the fact that they hadn't won on Wednesday, and then again on Saturday. So.
Yeah, right. Well, that's a really good segue, Steve. So what did you think about Friday's game?
Do you know what? Initially, it wasn't too bad. I stayed away from Twitter. Because it's just so it's like Twitter was just like we'd never been away. It's unbelievable how people can kind of forget the last 3 months and what we've been through and everything like that. And as soon as the football starts, they go like absolutely crazy and just lose their shit about just stuff that really ultimately doesn't matter. You know what I mean? But I thought the game was okay. It wasn't. Second half we were poor. We sat back. And we invited too much pressure, obviously, and we weren't progressive enough. And you could see that from the first half, he was trying to play on the counter, which meant that, we're going to give up possession, try and attack with pace. And Bergwijn's goal showed that, you know what I mean? Because it was a quick turnover of possession and run at them. And I thought he took his goal superbly. But, overall, no, it's not. It's not something that I guess we should be overly impressed with. But I think at the time it was about trying to get a result. And if it hadn't been for a dodgy penalty, plus another attempted dodgy penalty, then maybe he would have felt justified. Because it's about building confidence and trust in his in him as a manager and his methods, I guess, which he needs to try and get across to all the players.
Yeah, and it's early days, isn't it? Now that we're back, so yeah. What about you, Simon?
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I think that there was probably some pent up nervous energy getting back into it, and after an enforced break of 3 months, then coming back and playing inside an empty stadium, and then Jose's new team versus Jose's old team, I think there's so many different factors you've got to try and melt into that.
Yeah.
It's sort of like back to it's a bit of a soft reset, isn't it? And you may need a game or two to kind of, okay, this is our new routine. This is what we're going to do now. This is our thing. And then we feel, they can fall back into it maybe a little bit more.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
We shouldn't forget the fact that our results before the break were terrible. So we need to do better. And I think the pressure is really there.
Yeah. But I guess before the break, we had a lot of players out. So we had Sissoko back, we had Kane, we had Son. We obviously had, the front three that I don't think have played together before, have they?
Not like that, no, because Kane hasn't played, has he? So no.
No, exactly. So, and how did Lamela play, do you think?
I thought he did all right. I know he gave the ball away a bit, but in terms of what he brings to the team is like energy, really, and people don't say that's not enough. He needs to have better quality in the final third, which I guess to a certain extent is true. But I guess when he gives the ball away, it's because he's trying stuff, and he's much more, I guess, adventurous than, for example, Sissoko might be with a pass, or Winks might be with a pass. Where they're more about playing safe passes or attempting to play safe passes rather than trying to thread an intricate ball or try and threaten and break lines. And like he's been there 7 years, and like we kind of say every year it's like, well, this is it, this is the time, this is it. I mean, is this going to be his breakthrough season? This is going to be it. And I mean, fans are rightly going and say like, fuck that, he's been here 7 years, how long do you want to give him? But
it's a fair point.
It is a fair point, but for me, there's something about him for me that says like, if he could stay injury free, and with the passion that he brings and the energy that he brings, that he could add another dimension.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
to the team.
It's kind of, I think, for me, I think he fares better in international in European games than he does in domestic games. I think it's to do with his style of play and just all of those sort of things. So when he tries to get too intricate, he often becomes unstuck. But actually, when he's playing against a foreign team, he has sometimes more room to be expressionate.
So. Yeah.
But that's just where I've seen. But then if he comes on later in a domestic game and he's just there to cause havoc, he can do that really. He can do that really well. Yeah. So it's just about what you use him for and when you use it, and that's from my own personal point of view.
Yeah. So that's a fair point, actually. No, what about Ndombele then? What happened? I didn't see the game because I took some hay fever tablets and I fell asleep and missed the game, which I blame on the Southampton game actually, because that was boring me, and then I missed it, so I don't know really what went on. So with Ndombele, what's going on there?
I have no idea. I don't know. I mean, like we spoke on last week, and he looks trim and he looks fit, and everyone, like all the fans to a man, were excited. It's about time he justifies his fee, and he didn't get a chance on the pitch. I just don't you can make 5 subs. You can make 5 subs in that game, and in a game that you can make 5 subs, and we really want that creativity. This is what we just said about Lamela in terms of being able to try and unpick a team. He can unpick a team. He is that creative player. He is the one that does something that's unexpected and out of the norm, but with the ability to retain possession coming out the other side. But yet still he sat on the bench looking frustrated, and rightly so. When he's worked his arse off in lockdown, got himself as fit as we're ever going to see him. And then and I don't know, I'm hoping Jose's decided that he wasn't playing him on Saturday or Friday, or whatever day it was, so that he's going to give him a full game tomorrow. I have no idea. But
the thing is that
that was what I was disappointed about.
I would have thought, though, if he was playing tomorrow night, then he would have got like 10 minutes at least just to get his legs running. Or, why did he not give him a few minutes? It just doesn't make any sense, does it?
I have no idea. I mean, he came out and said before the game that he trusts him. There were some quotes about Mourinho and Dembele, and you're thinking, great, here we go. Things might, he does trust him, and he's going to give him some time, but there's another 8 games left, and it's loads of games in a short period of time. So maybe it's about managing the players.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and I guess Lucas is back and Ali's back for tomorrow, so there are some fresh legs there, aren't there? So that should all bode well. Yeah. Good.
What do you think, Simon? I wondered if it may be to do with the energy of the players that they were up against as well. When you think that they were up against players like McTominay and Fred.
I don't know. I agree with the frustration simply because, as you say, you've got 5 subs. You can make them in pairs or whatever the rule was in 3 lots, can't you?
Yeah.
You just sort of think, okay, so it's 1-1, or it was. Why wouldn't you? What have you got to lose? It's a sort of you need to go for it. But is it? But is there something underlying which we're not privy to, which means, well, actually, he'd rather save him. Who knows? It did seem a bit weird, and he looks a bit unhappy about it.
Yes, Steve.
I think, Simon, you just hit the nail on the head. Actually, he said when we need to go for it, and I think that may just be something about Jose that we haven't really ever sort of touched upon, but he would rather not lose, I guess. Then, it was in a point where we were winning, but then he'd rather not lose, I guess, in that situation.
Is that his thing? Is that Jose's remit? The first thing that comes out the box is we mustn't lose.
Well, he would class Man United as a big team, wouldn't he? And he doesn't. One of his things is that you don't lose to the big teams. Don't lose to the big teams and then beat the others. So it would be a case of don't lose. And I guess by putting on Dembele, although we might be going for it, we might also leave ourselves a little bit more exposed with people because everyone was like, when I saw, I think, like on Twitter and all over that, when they brought on Pogba, it's like, well, bring on, like, if Pogba's on, bring on Dembele, to try and counterbalance him and all this sort of stuff. Yeah. And but it would, if Dembele is not prepared to run back, which we don't know, I have no idea, based on, if you look at his psychology or whatever from previous games, they may look at it from that perspective. Maybe just as well, we need people that, are going to work back, like in that area, which didn't work out too well anyway.
Yeah. And Jose does get criticism for being a defensive manager, so maybe it's just a manifestation of that, and kind of circles back around to him desperately trying to get something out of his old side, because he wouldn't want to, that would just be for him, too damaging for his own ego.
Yeah, that's it. He lost to them earlier in the season, so he doesn't lose again. He's also Chelsea twice as well, so at least he got a point.
Exactly.
Talking of his ego, did you see the? I know we're kind of going off point here. Sorry, but did you see the interview that he gave in response to Paul Merson?
I did. And
that, like, Paul,
it was a bit like his. It was a bit like his rant when he was at United about the trophies that he won, and
but he's done. I think he's already done that a couple of times with Spurs. In terms of pulling out stats and figures, there have been people saying, okay, I understand it because, but I just think, like, what is the point? What is the point of reeling off, like, I had this striker that played for me and he scored that many goals. I had that. I don't give a shit. You're not getting our striker to score, so why do I care? I don't care about these other strikers. Get my striker to score goals.
Exactly, and if he wants to fight the media will fight back, and it will just won't win, will you? So there's too many of them.
Yeah, but that was one of the points that they